Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy Peter Parker here. We are live here. You guys see the headline. Let's get right to it. Without further ado, we are back. We're giving you guys another exclusive. I mean, this time I am by myself, but I had to hop in here and chat with everyone about what is going on in the world of professional wrestling right now, and it's a lot. I'm not even gonna front. This is deep. This is heavy. But we're gonna get right into it. And the person that we're talking about is none other than Nash Carter, as you see in the headline here. And I don't need to say anymore. You guys know who he is from NXT, the group MSK. Let me pull up his real name here. This is a real news story, guys. This is not kayfabe. There is a lot going on with the latest breaking news. Shout out to Fightful Select for that story. And shout out to the WWE for just taking the initiative to doing what they did. I know there's a lot of feelings going on right now. We're going to talk about this. We got, as I mentioned, this is breaking news. As in the past couple of days, you had WWE fire NXT superstar Nash Carter of MSK due to domestic violence allegations from his wife, Kimberly. We're going to get into all of that and so much more, guys. This is Wrestle Gossip, courtesy of DTA Podcast. Once again, I'm your host. Let me see if I get his real name here. I'm your host, Peter Parker. That is. Let me see if I get his name. Okay, Zachary Green, aka Nash Carter, pro wrestling name. Real name Zachary Green. Nash Carter being fired from WWE this past week due to, once again, domestic violence allegations from his wife, Kimberly, who is also a wrestler. Not sure if she's in WWE, but yeah, guys. So, so this is a lot going on, but yeah. So let's take a look at the headlines and let's get right to it. Yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe and subscribe to our YouTube there, DTA Podcast, and make sure you guys keep up with everything that's going on. You guys want to support the channel, you guys go to buymeacoffee.com/DTA Podcast. That's right, buymeacoffee.com/DTA Podcast. It's a great little site there. We put up exclusives, including we're going to put up some free merch, and that's going to be coming out real soon. I have a special announcement later on the show on what we're going to be bringing that out with. But as I said in the headline, guys, today we're talking about Nash Carter. You guys have a comment, you could drop in the inbox. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook right now. Shout out to everyone watching, everyone listening live. Whether you watch the video live or post, chat with us. This is a serious topic right now. As I mentioned earlier, the latest is that he has been fired. That being Nash Carter, as you see in the picture of WWE NXT. He is one half of the group MSK. Those that followed his career for a very long time. He's also was in Impact along with his tag team partner and Trey Miguel as the Rascals. How interesting! I am actually listening to the album Rascals in the background. You guys could hear a bit. Rascals. Shout out to Myron Reed for that album. Great project he put out a while ago. So this is serious stuff, guys. And as I mentioned, we're gonna take this one step at a time. We're gonna the due diligence that it takes to talk about something like this. And I for one has been trying to process all this, but I'm like, you know what? If any time is a good time, now is time to come on and talk about the situation. And you know, it's funny. I'm looking at a Discord right now, and it says therapy group. Yeah, I first and foremost, yeah. Speaking of, let me just say something. First and foremost, uh, I myself hope that uh, Kimberly is doing the work to overcome what she said she has overcame, and this is serious stuff, as I said in the beginning. And whew, uh, I hope that she gets the therapy, and so does we're gonna call him Nash. Well, screw it. We're gonna call him Zach, his real name. I hope Zach gets the help too, and so does Kimberly. Um, uh, this is crazy, but at the same time, something had to happen, and so I just hope that they get the help, because this is a very life changing situation now that he is known publicly as this. I know a lot of people. Um, a lot of people were up in arms on social media about what exactly their feelings and all that. We're going to get into that as well. So much going on right now in the zeitgeist of professional wrestling, and I just for want to make sure that we all can heal and process from this. So yeah, guys. Once again, this we are live. This is the Wrestle Gossip edition of hashtag TGIF. And yeah, so we're going to be talking about it, and just giving you the news as it's reported. And as I mentioned earlier, once again, shout out to the breaking news about this story, which is from Fightful Select. Everyone is reporting on this, so I was just like, I had to jump on the line and chat with everyone. So yeah, you guys want to chat with us? You could chat with us. We're live on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. The hashtag is Wrestle Gossip. Yeah, so so I was just minding my business when this whole thing just came about. And I watch NXT. I watched Impact. I've watched this guy's career for a very, 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 very long time. I have been avidly a pro wrestling fan pretty much my whole life. And this whole situation with let's just say the Me Too era of pro wrestling right now, with what's going on, hashtag speaking out. We're going to talk about that too, because it's just a very eerie feeling with all that's going on. But I've been following Nash Carter and Wes Lee, also known as the group MSK, but also known as the Rascals, like I said, along with Trey Miguel and Desmond Xavier and get his name, the other one, the one that's mentioned in the story, Nash, the white one, his name in Impact. But anyway, they were all known as the Rascals of Impact. Then Trey stayed at Impact, and these two guys here, Nash and Wesley being the black guy, came to NXT with the new name as MSK. And they've been quite successful in NXT. And so I've been watching their rise, like I said, since Impact. They fought LAX in Impact. They fought a lot of great tag teams throughout their career. They have so much to do. But once your name gets tarnished in something like this, with domestic violence, allegations and whatnot, it's pretty much a downhill from there. And so hey, we got Wrestle Chat. Excuse me, the Wrestle Story in the building chatting with us. What's going on, guys? So it's happy Friday, late Friday that is. A lot of wrestling going on, but this is the big story, so I had to jump in. Shout out to the Wrestle Story. They have an amazing channel, amazing podcast, video show that Mr. G and his daughter Maven do amazing stuff there. Great community, great Discord, just great everything. Fun conversations, fun rants. We all have good moments there. Yeah, so it's just so much going on, and we have to talk about this in a serious situation, like and coming up, we have the latest. I have the latest on. So used to doing this with my co-host. I have the latest on this developing story here, where the tag team partner of Wesley, of Nash Carter, Wesley, his wife is coming forward as well. And so you have Nash Carter's wife, Kimberly, admitting on publicly saying that he did some violent stuff towards her, and also alleging other things as well. And then now you got the wife of his tag team partner coming out and I believe standing up for Nash Carter. So this is just getting so bizarre. And you want to protect women, you want to protect victims, and at the same time, we're seeing so much happen on social media, and everything is happening within a little zeitgeist of how we're all consume media. And a lot of people have confirmation bias, and there's a lot of anxiety going on. So it's just I'm trying to be as respectful, but at the same time just bring a lot of nuance to the table, because I think that's what's missing on let's just say social media. I'm not going to call anyone out specifically, but it's needed. And I myself been through a let's just say an assault situation, and thankfully I survived, and it wasn't as violent as what she openly admitted to, that being Kimberly. But assault is assault, and we all experienced it, whether you know someone that knows someone. And so when someone is crying help, which is what it looks like most of the time, believe them until they give the reason not to. And I saw a couple people already throw shots at Kimberly and calling her the Enzo. This Nash Carter being the Enzo of WWE again, whatever situation. And it's like, we don't even know, but this is how things get muddied in the water. But anywho, I say all that to say that coming up, one of the things that I want to discuss is about what do we do when wrestlers are released suddenly, and how do the fans take in just process, us as fans, and also as wrestling media. How do we process what's going on? And it's just really a touch and go situation. And so yeah, you want to be respectful, and yeah, we got some people on the line chatting. Oh wait, I don't think let me respond. I'm trying to respond back. Hey, what's going on? We got TRM on over here. But yeah, and you got Wrestle Stories with a comment here. What are you saying? I think more evidence needs to come out. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I'm saying. And we just have to just touch. It's very touch and go, and I think that a lot of people want to put their opinions out there, because that's what we do on social media. And um, it just has to have more respect, like, because this is someone else's situation, that we're all experiencing. Um, and yeah, he said too many times people in general want to jump to one side. Yeah, exactly. And that's based on their confirmation bias, like, and because that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. It's based on confirmation bias and how people feel, and if you like this wrestler, you're going to jump on that wrestler's side. And it's not about that, like, or just whoever the person is, a celebrity. We get enamored by people, but that's not the point. The point of overall is that someone's career is now, or multiple careers are on the line now. You got uh the two guys of this tag team who basically is in limbo right now. And the latest that I saw was that they vacated the titles, and I guess they're gonna figure out what is next with NXT 2.0 tag team titles. And it's just so crazy because this is how these things happen. And like I said, I really do like them as a tag team. But let's get to the story here. And so, yeah, so as I mentioned, this is the breaking story here from Fightful. And basically, we have here, shout out to Cage Side Seats, says Fightful reporting that today, April 6th, which basically was a couple of days ago, WWE released Nash Carter, whose real name Zachary Green, is one half of the tag team MSK with partner Wes Lee. The duo won the tag team title second time this past weekend at Stand and Deliver. And it's interesting because that's when I did see that WrestleMania. Shout out to WrestleMania on YouTube. I saw the tweets, and then it all started to snowball from there. And they had a great match. And it says there's no statement from WWE as yet. Speculation is the release related to accusations of mental or physical abuse made on social media over the past week by Zachary Green's wife, Kimberly. And there's also some stories about like Nazi stuff. It's so sordid, like. And we're going to talk about it all. And I really like Kimberly's work as a wrestler. I was curious to know what happened to her in Impact. And now it's all making sense. This is one of the tweets that she sent out here. But actually, what I'm going to do is get to this quick clip here. I want you guys to take a look at what exactly is going down. This clip is courtesy of Wrestle Gossip. Yes. So just a lot with questions. I mean, we sort of know what happens next, but also, I mean, I'm curious about both of them because I mean, I feel bad for Wesley because he's another great wrestler, but then I feel horrible for Nash, and worse for Kimberly. Like it's a lot of emotions going on at once. And um you know a lot of times, people do things to themselves, and we don't know what we don't know. But what we do know, according to this report here, is that WWE didn't say anything. And then I saw another story from SE Scoops, which kind of went further into the situation, and physical abuse is talked about here, and It says here, per Orange County, Florida court website, Zach filed a divorce petition against Kimberly, and his lawyer, J. Rose, Matt Riddle's initial lawyer, hashtag speaking out. So yeah, this is all connected to, unfortunately, the hashtag speaking out situation. And this is real interesting. And for those that do not know about the hashtag speaking out situation, because I remember speaking about this on my podcast, along with my co-host, Suplex City and Diva, that is. And we spoke about just this whole situation. And like I said, it's very tough to talk about. So if you hear me stop and pause, like, it's just a lot of situations going on, because this is about assault. So, and it was over about 50 male wrestlers accused of assault throughout the industry. And a lot of women came forward, and some men came forward about some allegations. Yes, gay men, part of the LGBTQIA. It's been ongoing. We have our issues with already in the political specter, and Hollywood, and now pro wrestling. So sexual assault, again, is sexual assault. And so it's just interesting that the speaking out and situation, hashtag, shall I say, movement rather, resurfaces, and I hope that this can really be the precipice of change. Because there are other people, I'm sure, looking at this and seeing what will happen, as the Wrestle story said earlier. Like, more evidence has to come out. At the same time, a movement doesn't just die. So it's good to see that this still gives life, a bloodline, if you will, no pun intended. And it's all about having prosecutors and victims who are strong enough to come forward, and prosecutors able to make it all make sense. And if there's enough reasonable doubt, you could be found innocent. So, however, it's just a tall tale of just, how things just always comes around and goes around. And it's just real interesting on how we all got here. But like I said, I just hope that they get the help that they need, both of them, because I can't not express that enough. And yeah, so that was interesting right there with the Matt Riddle connection. And there's a whole nother conversation with that, which is why I'm not going to get into that Matt Riddle thing. But because you got people, shout out to what's his face, what's his name here, David Bixenspan. I know another controversial person, but he's always on the case. And and that's one of the people who put a lot of stories out there, the speaking out movement, to go back to that. And so this is going to continue. We're going to follow this, but moving along, it's interesting that this is going on here with this, because, as I just said, innocent to proven guilty. But unfortunately, in WWE, it seems like there is a guilty to proven innocent. The tweets came out, Here are the tweets that you guys saw in the video. Here, let me move this out the way. Kimberly, that started off where she said this here. She said basically, I would love to be excited for Nash Carter, WWE, when they won the titles, as I mentioned earlier. And but I've had abuse for too long. No one should be abandoned the way I've been abandoned in silence in hopes of keeping a career. Now everyone knows that when this situation goes down, stuff like this, like, again, first comes the information, then comes the validity, if you will. And unfortunately, I hate to even say it like that, but you need proof, you need evidence to make this thing stick. Not only to the courts, but to public opinion. Now public opinion matters more so than the courts, unfortunately, shall I say. And so, you know, again, here we are. And you never know what people are going through. The first thing I thought about, I was like, wow. I was like, well, I'm glad that she's strong enough to even just speak on it. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about stuff like this, because it's like, whoa, okay. It's like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you say? How do you even, like, and for those that want to know what Kimberly looks like, this is what she looks like here. And it's just like I said, this is a couple that we're gonna be, just diving into their lives now because of what was revealed on publicly on social media. So that's what Kimberly looks like. But as I mentioned, guys, there is just a lot of nuance that comes with this, like, because now, is there a guilty until proven innocent culture? Clearly, we know overall context of the quote unquote cancer culture, because I don't believe it's cancer culture. I believe it's consequence culture. And I think, well, excuse me, and I believe that this is what this is as well. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But specifically with WWE, someone did say that, someone did allude to the Enzo situation. And I get Enzo. Someone even brought up Velveteen Dream. Another one, hashtag speaking out, is a big thing. Someone who was accused of something with a young child, a young boy, Velveteen Dream. That is, this like I said, this is just very a lot, and but he's reported of resurfacing because it's been a while for him. And when do people are able to come back? And honestly, I think that there's levels to this. So, but that's a say for another conversation, because this is about Kimberly, her. And as much as I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, on do I talk about this? Should I talk about this? This is not my conversation. But you know what? This is my conversation, because as I said, I am someone who experienced assault, not to that level, but assault is assault. And thankfully, thank God, thank the Lord, I survived and got the therapy and still doing therapy and the good work. And hopefully Kimberly and Zach does the same thing. But Kimberly, she broke the internet, and rightfully so. And here we are. But I do believe there is a guilty until proven innocent culture in professional wrestling right now. But then you got to look at the reasons why we got here. Now, according to SE Scoops here, they're also reporting here, SEScoops.com, there's also reports here that she alleges there were Nazi sympathetic pictures here, as you guys can see. That's Nash Carter being accused of domestic violence, as we spoke about the breaking news here. Once again, guys, we are live. For anyone watching live right now that want to chat, or you can chat in the box later. But so this is just ongoing on many levels. So it went from abuse to now, as she mentioned, mental, which is clearly seeing images like this and whatever the conversations came. She also alluded to homophobic slurs as well. So this is deep. And let me take this picture down, because I don't need this picture up for too long. Okay. As a Black person, that's triggering right there. But this is the reality of her life. And once again, we have to take this one step at a time. But let me get to some comments here. I wonder if WWE knows more about the situation, says Wrestle Story here. Oh, let me Okay, there you go. I'm pulling it back up. Um, I wonder if WWE knows more about the situation. They don't have a history of just releasing people for accusations. You know what? Someone did say that too, and like a comment thread, and I can see that too. But at the same time, the way this company is operated right now, they don't need no bad press, no, like, especially from their wrestlers, that leads to some type of investigations, any type of courts, government, big government getting involved. You know, Vince, conservative, they hate big government. So yeah, I could see that being a thing, and granted, there's a lot of stuff that we know about WWE. So, and you got another comment here. Wrestle Story says, cancel culture isn't a thing. If enough people say they don't like something, it gets canceled. That's just the way things work. Thank you so much. You know what? I got to snapshot this one. See, Wrestle Story, this is what I'm saying, guys. The Wrestle Story channel community, we're so just level headed. Clearly, Mr. G is a teacher, so obviously educated. But, well, hold on, because there's some stories I saw with some teachers. Okay, hold on. You know what? Wrong show. Wrestling. So it's very interesting. I'm not going to be on too long because we're already 30 minutes in, but it's just a lot of nuance here. But back to the topic here. Guilty until proven innocent. That is where we are. And I think WWE, Vince McMahon, whoever you want to say, Nick Khan, did the absolute right thing. You know, uh, I am. Uh, Let me get this in here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at this picture and trying to get the strength to talk about this. So yeah, listen, and I'm gonna show this because we need to talk about it. Again, I think a lot times in life we veer away from conversations because we're scared of uh, uh, we're scared of the what the conversation would bring out of us. But this is a safe space, and she put these pictures out there. And domestic violence is never okay. First and foremost. Well, I've been talking, but you guys get what I'm saying. First and foremost, and thankfully, I'm in a better place. And like I said, hopefully she's in, or she's getting to, and Zachary will have the rest of his lifetime to get there. And what happens next is the whole processing. Everyone has to process. And let's hope that we all can do that, because the world we live in right now, I'm sitting there and I'm talking and I'm thinking to myself, like, I think about Paige, and it's she's still going through situations. She gets just trolled, and Alberto Del Rio always saying something because he's scorned, right? He's scorned, and so. But she put these pictures up, guys, and once again, viewer discretion is advised. But this is the picture that she revealed of showing her face, and that is Kimberly accusing her husband, who, as I just reported, filed for divorce. I'm not sure divorce has been final, but that is the picture. You see the scar on her face, the laceration. This again is Wesley, and this is his wife, Kimberly. Guys, this story is developing. Yeah, so uh, she's a pretty woman. And you know, uh, she's pretty with makeup, pretty without makeup. Um, you know, I love her aesthetic as a wrestler. Um, I don't know her love. Well, clearly we know part of her love. I don't know if she has children or whatnot. Not that to get into all that, but it's bad enough that women wrestlers don't have the uh, longevity in wrestling as men do, you know. And it's worse enough that they got to go through all of the objectification, and clearly it's 10 times worse for black women, female wrestlers. And we always talk about this white privilege stuff, especially in the culture that we live in right now, and that is a real thing. When you get to that level, whether it be financially or just because you're born with that skin, you do get privileges in this country and the world. And but as a woman, as a white woman, you're still a woman, and you go and this is a man's world. And even me as a black gay man, like I do have privileges, man. I don't have to deal with those type of things. Uh, I mean, unless I put myself in those situations, shall I say, as an adult. But in work, like men make more money than women. Men are hired over women more times. This is why we celebrate women. Every so often we're still like, oh my God, the first. We have the first black Supreme Court judge. Black woman Supreme Court judge, like ever in 200 years, like so plus years. So it's all of that, like and just to think the strife that she had to go through to get there, to then have a relationship that's violent at home. And how do you got to keep energy going and smile on your face and going between those curtains and taking those bumps, as we call, the marks call, the all the terminology of wrestling and so forth. I think about this a lot because I, again, dealt with assault that level, but assault was assault. And I also go through mental health illness, if you will. I'm not on the extreme spectrum. I won't be able to do a show with you guys, but I do take medication to balance my mental health, my well-being. I do speak to a therapist. I do have a psychologist. I have a physician. I check my, make sure my health is okay. Like, I mean, this podcast, doing this show, it is a sort of mental health relaxing situation, shall I say. And As I mentioned, coming up, one of the things that I want to dive into is how do we deal with that as a community. I didn't even think this episode was going to go on that long, but here I am turning into Ricky Lake. But how how do we deal with this as a community? Because it is anxiety inducing, and I see a lot of fans dealing with that. And I grew up in this industry, and not in the industry, but watching pro wrestling, and Dark Side of the Ring was stories that I already knew of growing up in the Attitude Era, and now it's all making sense. And then you have these new wrestlers going through things, and this is where we are. We got new wrestlers, Kimberly, Zachary Green, both in their, under 40 years old. I think both of them like early 30s, young 30s, late 20s, whatnot, in between 25, 35, let's just say. But point being is, this is the new generation, and it seems like the problems are still repeating. And how do we stop this for the future? And instead of us jumping to as Wrestle Story was alluding, the confirmation bias and who do we agree with, and this is someone's life at the end of the day, and thankfully she's here to tell her story. So I don't know, but I like I said, I'm not gonna get. I don't. We're still finding out what the story is. And I will say one thing though. According to statistics, there, only 2%, guys, 2% of sexual assault cases are proven to be false. I'll repeat myself. 2% of sexual assault cases are proven to be false, according to the latest statistics. And that means if you do the math, there is a hell of a lot of proof out there that unfortunately our justice system, whatever you want to call this system, just don't act upon swiftly as they should, and a lot of it is underreported, and that's why you got the hashtags believe victims and so forth. And as I spoke a little earlier about the Me Too movement, this is the hashtags speaking out, which is the Me Too movement of pro wrestling. And we're back here, and it's eerie because it started in April of 2019, if I'm not mistaken, and so it's a lot going on in a nutshell, in a bubble. This is not new for the wrestling community. This is not something that we're just oh, okay, another story. So this how do we all deal with this collectively? I think that's an important question. We got a comment here, wrestle story. Violence isn't wait, what to say here? Violence isn't necessary at all, whether it's domestic or otherwise. Yeah, I agree. You should have put hashtag Oscars. Oh, come on, guys. I mean, a little bit of humility amongst everything. I mean, um, that's the only way we could get through things. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's never the answer. And unfortunately, one thing that I have multiple therapists, but they all come and go. Not because of me, ironically. I mean, I would think like, is it me? But they say, oh no, 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 Eric, our sessions are over, and you're gonna get a new doctor. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Because you're like, what the hell did I say? But anyway, but all of them kind of said the same thing. It's just like the art of war is basically how when you're watching something on social media blow up, that's really what it is. Even in person, the art of war can lead to domestic, or physical, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to be domestic, but just physical violence. Like, it's what we say to each other. And that's why you hear all these things that you grow up, every generation, boomers on to now, you hear treat people how you want to be treated and so forth and so forth. And it does matter as you get older because you learn how do you react, speaking of the Oscars and so forth, like it's how you react to triggers and situations, but you have to be in the moment to understand what these triggers are, which is what therapy is. Therapy is living in your truth, the moment, being present, knowing what your triggers and how to react and how to change your behavior, show the contrition that you've learned. And I think that's the hard part for a lot of people in our culture. Let's just say Americans, like it's hard. It's hard for us to dig in deep and really think how we did wrong and how can we change, whether it be your point of view, how you look at people, your bigotry. We all have some sort of bigotry or prejudice in our lives, depending where you grew up at. If you're a northeastern person like myself, up here in New York City, or you're somewhere in Midwest or Southwest or Southeast, Northeast, you know what I mean? Down in uh, uh, the South and all over the country, and because you look on social media and you can plant anyone's name in these stories and it's all the same thing. How many times we hear a famous someone going through it and people pick sides. Oh, she don't have enough proof, as if we're the lawyers. And yeah, it's just something that not to say like immediately run to believe everyone, because that's not how you live life, but you do let things play out. I hate to even say that because that's a term in wrestling that's been so ruined, right? Shout out to Alexa Bliss. um so yeah, wrestle story. No, I mean, listen, it's interesting. All you needed was a hashtag. But so no, I say all that to say, as I mentioned, coming up, guys, we have the conversation that we're going to dive into real quick. And I'll give my opinion on how do I think we will be able to deal with this and let go, because it's a grieving situation. Like you're like and everything that we thought, the call up to the main roster and such, or even if they both left, then it'll be like, oh yes, AEW, but he's leaving on these terms. So it's like, ooh, how do we collectively deal with what happened, if you will? Well, I'm back. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I clicked myself off. All right. Trigger fingers. um, so yeah. So what happens when we're all, this collectively goes down, and how do we deal with this? And also we have the latest on this story with these two individuals here. One of the wives, of the other tag team member, Wesley, his wife comes forward, and she claims that Kimberly, Nash Carter's wife, allegations are false. Um, yeah, this has turned ugly. And I saw a lot of people saying the same thing. I don't know. Listen, this is all coming out left and right. And I don't. It's crazy. I just always find it fascinating how when stuff like this happen, people who are not even a part of it jumps into it, and I'm like, so are you going to join the court case too, or when this, are you going to be a witness? I hope so, because this is the only way things get settled in society. Speaking of settled, there could be a settlement. We don't know. This is how the court works. So if it gets to that point, and here we go again, right? So yeah, guys, we're gonna be uh, um, back in just about a minute. Take a quick break. But before we do that, I want to share something special with you guys. Yeah, so me and my co-host, Suplex City Diva, that is, we've been doing this podcast, DTA podcast, for a very long time. For about just going into our fourth year. We started doing the audio podcast and then dived into the video with everything that's going on, the live streaming, whatnot. And yeah, so we're going to be coming back with the audio podcast, returning this May, Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. It's going to be live audio podcast. So we're going to record it live. You guys can come chat with us live, sort of like right here, what we're doing, but it'll be, just like this, audio only. And then we'll be doing additional live video content where clearly showing my face, and all that good stuff, having special guests. The usual, if you're familiar to, part of the channel, subscribers, as I call the DTA podcasters. Yes, I think I need a new name. It's a mouthful. But yeah, guys, so we'll be back this May. But that's not all. We're also coming back with a special situation here. And I just want to thank in advance my co-host, that being the one and only Suplex City Diva, aka by her rap name Splash T. We have a new single coming out. The official DTA podcast theme song, which will be dropping this summer, probably around the same time as we come back. We want to do a video. Yes, it's an official theme song for the podcast, a pro wrestling theme song. So it's amazing. She got amazing bars in it. I can't wait to, like I said, do the video, have you guys hear the song, probably have like a little launch gathering or something like that, where everyone can listen to it. And yeah, and hopefully we get a remix. Shout out to Ant Won't Stop. I'm looking at you right now. But yeah, guys, so I have so much more to share with you guys. And if you guys want to support the channel, as I mentioned earlier, you could check us out at buymeacoffee.com/DTA podcast. Subscribe, donate, tip, whatever you can. We'll be giving free merch as well, and that will most likely be coming out during the summer. I'm designing it as we speak. Yeah, being an entrepreneur is not easy. Running your own business. If you have a podcast out there, you're running your own situation, and these are the things you got to do as you grow and build the channels and whatnot. So yeah, all that in just amount of time. I'll probably link up on Pro Wrestling Tees because that's probably the quickest, but I do want my own situation. So there you have it, guys. But as I mentioned, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick 1 minute break. And or should we just say 60 seconds, right? Isn't that just much more plausible? We're going to take a 60-second break. And we'll be right back with more Wrestle Gossip. We're talking about it here. Nash Carter being fired from WWE. And like I said, the latest is someone is saying, girl, you're lying. We'll be right back. Hey, we are back here live once again, coming everywhere, guys. DTA podcast, you already know. Um, so back to the topic here at hand, which is the break-in story that Nash Carter here uh, was fired from WWE. Shout out to Fightful Select for that story once again. Um, so at the moment right now, we are currently going to discuss what the situation is, which is basically that the wife of that being the tag team partner of Nash Carter's wife, Wesley, that is his wife, is claiming that Nash Carter, wife right there, Kimberly, who is accusing her husband of domestic violence, saying the allegations are false. And yeah, so this is interesting because we show you the pictures, we showed you, basically as much as we could, you know, um, and without any, legal issues or anything like that. But um, again, as Wrestle Story said in the beginning, all this has to be verified. This is where the evidence is not. So right now it is hearsay, and you can believe who you want to believe. But that's not the case. That's not what we're, we're discussing here. What we're talking about is the validity of what is currently reported through the sites that we follow in the wrestling media right now. And also, obviously, I'm taking from what she put on social media, that being Kimberly. To my knowledge, she is not pulled a typical 180 with as celebrities do every so often, and I've been hacked kind of thing. So we're running with this story here. And she is claiming again on her social media that she is a victim of domestic abuse. And if this was anyone else's daughter, oh, did you guys see all that? I thought I had that. I thought I had the picture file hidden. But anyway, you guys watch me go through a whole process. Find the tweet. So I found the tweet. Okay, so you guys watch me do it live. You watch my craziness behind the scenes. So got the tweet up on the screen. Let me move this out of the way, and you guys can read this with me. And this is what she said the night of Stand and Deliver. As he won the tag team titles, this thing popped up, and this was the same weekend that I saw the WrestleMania video, because everyone is consuming wrestling media for WrestleMania. I don't know why. Can we hold on? Can we talk about that? We speak about. I bring up about this topic here, and I'm gonna come back to this thing here. This is what I do. Okay, welcome to DTA Podcast. If you're new, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But this is what I do. So I am ranting right now. So that title right here, this lower third right here, what happens when wrestlers are released suddenly? So that's what we just had. Shout out to you, Cody. He was released suddenly. Everyone went through the feelings, didn't we all? We all went through the feelings. We all was like, what is going on? And of course, here comes all the wrestling, I guess you want to call AEW marks, oh, this is a work, and he's going to Ring of Honor, blah, 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 blah. We all dealt with anxiety. And here he is in another promotion. But again, Cody is not the same thing as Nash Carter, just using the whole release suddenly. And because there is a form of anxiety, because there are a lot of people, and actually, let me clarify this as well, because there are a lot of people who, I remember speaking to my dad, who I'm probably going to talk to in a bit. He's up. He asked me, because I talk a lot about mental health, as I just did this whole freaking hour. Oh my God, we're an hour. Oh my God. I said, you know what, Eric, you're gonna do a show, just 30 minutes. But what do I know? This is a real issue. So my dad was like, what does depression or anxiety feels like? And I was like, when that feeling where your heart is racing and you can't really process things. Like, a lot of times and one of my therapists said, like, there's good anxiety and bad anxiety. I think we all know what that feels like. When you're standing in front of a train, on the side of waiting for the train to come, that anxiety, okay, well, I'm not going to step in front of, like, you're not going to do that. That's bad anxiety. Like, okay, stand right here, wait for the train to arrive. Now, good anxiety, I would say, like I told my dad, like, getting a great job or going for a great interview and having the jitters and, you're really kicking ass at this interview, but you're just so nervous. That's anxiety. That's good anxiety, something that leads to something positive, and we have things, anxiety / fear, whatever you want to call it. Fear is a good precipice that leads to deep anxiety / depression. And I sound like I'm a clinical specialist, but I'm not. I'm just a patient. So don't quote me specifically, but I'm just telling you how I process and see things. And, And once again, I hope they're both getting the therapy that they need. But again, there is anxiety, being a part of any sport. Like right now, I saw Good Morning America this morning, being yesterday, Friday morning, because this is now another day. But and Magic Johnson was talking about the Lakers and how horribly they're doing with all these Hall of Famers, and I'm sure Lakers. What are they called? The Laker something. I forgot their hashtag. But anyway, I I'm sure that they're like anxiety through the roof because it's like, damn. Yeah, especially if you're on the damn DraftKings or investing, so you lost a lot of money. But it's just a lot of anxiety, and this could be that could be in the middle as far as where that land, good or bad. But just saying, like, if you're rooting for someone and something like this happens, that's a complete off the track hurdle thing, like whether that be a personal or someone we don't know Nash Carter, but we do enjoy wrestling. As a professional wrestler, he isn't someone that we revere. On social media, we go purchase tickets to go see. Or NXT is free, but you get what I'm saying. So, or should I say was free, because he's no longer there. But so it's just interesting. So there is anxiety there, and so yeah, and look, it threw me into this topic. This is something I wanted to talk about, and I just kind of segued from Cody back into the conversation. But yeah, so she Kimberly put the tweets up, and then the wife of Wesley, the tag partner, denies it. So we don't know what we don't know. But like I said, this is anxiety inducing, and we all collectively has to come together to heal. I hope they do that first. Stay off social media. I saw she was responding to people, and she's in her feelings. Again, art of war. Be careful what you say to people. Hopefully we can all get to a place. But I'm not going to preach no longer. I think I said what I had to say. Is there anything else I need to talk about here? No. But yeah, guys, so that is the latest here. Currently of the wrestle gossip around the world right now. Well, the biggest story currently right now, according to the streets. Um, and yeah, so we'll be back. I said excuse me, I'm tongue tied. Let me drink some water. Hold on. I will be back. And I should say will be back because I'm sure my co-host will be with me. More likely be back with a brand new episode of Sunday Night Wrestling sometime this month, probably this week or next week. Just follow us at DTA Podcast. I'll give you guys all the information. As I said, I had some personal situations going on in my life myself. Nothing, well, actually something very serious, but thankfully I have good people in my corner. And this is therapeutic for myself, as I said. So, and I guess that's why this story triggered me. It's nothing with obviously connected to what we spoke about. Even though I did mention my similarities to it from years ago, but currently right now I am going through a situation of just processing. Let's just say someone very close. Well, okay, fine. I lost a friend. And I am still processing it. He was a dear friend of mine, and I don't think he liked. Well, he liked wrestling, but um, as gay wrestling fans, we mostly like the women. So he was big Sasha, Naomi, but wasn't like an avid wrestling fan. But if I ever come over to the house and have it in the background, he'll just be like, "What you watching?" Kind of thing. But yeah, so this definitely helps. I was questioning if I should do a show. I haven't done a show, and just try to keep the channel current. But it's been a lot to process, so try not to get too emotional. But yeah, so losing people's hard. and being in any traumatic situation, but this episode was a lot. So I tried, and I hope I did handle this with respect and a little bit of humility, because that's all we could do is laugh. Um, and I miss my friend CJ. Uh, we laughed a lot, um, and yeah. Oh, we have some comments. Uh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Wrestle Story. Yeah, it's been tough this past month. I never lost a friend, so uh, it's a lot. But thank you so much. See what I'm saying, guys? The Wrestle Story is full of love. Wrestling community, we have love for each other amongst all the AEW, WWE stupidness. Um, I wasn't even expecting to speak about my friend, but I am. It's good to get it out, and here I am on all these platforms. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Um, Anywho, I'm gonna wrap up the episode. I want to thank everyone for chatting, and once again, if you guys want to support the channel, um, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/DTA podcasts. Be greatly appreciated. Um, and as I mentioned, we have the single coming out soon. And yeah, so I just want to continue to provide a safe space for everyone, specifically people in the LGBTQ community. But also, show that I have versatility and able to speak on popular topics. One of my biggest things is really I want to promote more of the LGBTQ talent, and like Sunny Kiss and Effie and Dark Chic, and Edith Surreal, and just so many more that people may see through AEW or in the Indies, GCW, and just get to know these wrestlers on another level. We got Sonya Deville in WWE, and so many, and they just don't get the respect. Aside from obviously the black wrestlers, hashtag black wrestling draws, or black wrestlers draws. But you get the hashtag, guys. So, we have a lot of things that we need to accelerate, but that's my passion is, giving my people and allies who, want to support, especially what's going on in the world. It's a dark place. So if this could be a space for everyone, so look out for that song, Mean What We Say. It's kind of a little alluding to the show. We mean what we say, and kind of just we love to rant. So yeah, that's kind of where the song came from. Anyone have any questions, or how did you come up with the song? And it's fascinating that I can't wait to talk about behind the scenes, because Splash T, aka Suplex City, like she's amazing on how she just comes up with these things. So I definitely want to have her come on and talk about that. Also, guys, speaking of LGBT, I'm going to put up a clip probably later tonight, now that I have energy, uh, and talking about what's going on. We did an episode about homophobia in pro wrestling, when happened with Nyla Rose and the sign that was mocking her gender. And yeah, so we spoke about that. That happened recently. So this show, DTA podcast, we don't shy away from the hard stories. I actually have an interesting YouTube short on our YouTube channel where you guys can hear Suplex City speaking about her trans experience as a trans woman in society, and pro wrestling fan and part of the show here. And as I mentioned, she's a rapper as well. Go by the name of Splash T. So many talented individuals. And shout out to Nyla Rose. Shout out to her wife. And hopefully she's being protected as well. And moving forward, I want to, like I said, talk more about that aspect and how Tony Khan need to do more work on protecting the LGBTQIA community in specifically his wrestlers, and also specifically because you're in Florida with this damn "Don't Say Gay" bill. And yeah, so I'm not even gonna get into all that. But anyway, guys, that was my soapbox. I am done. Thank you so much, the Wrestle Story, for your comments. And oh wow, thanks. Good show. Look at me being all emo. Thank you. I felt like I was back in high school, just speaking away. Okay, Eric. All right, your time is up. All right. Thank you guys so much once again. Wrestle Story. You know, we'll be chatting soon on Twitch or Discord. Yeah. I want to end with a interesting clip here. You know, because there's so much, just a lot of emotions going on. So hopefully everyone get a kick out of this. This is a clip that I found on now known as Zachary Green, aka Nash Carter. That is something he shared on his Twitter, and I thought this was a very fun clip of him and his tag team partner. I really love what they did at Impact as the Rascals, and this kind of reminded me of that. If only, you know, just what had happened did not happen. And this is a true lesson in life, guys. You know, you as they say, you reap what you sow, and you know, there are ways to come back from this, and I something else I want to focus on. But I do think there is levels to the situations on why some people just can never return, if you get what I'm saying. Let's talk about it, guys. Tweet us at DTA Podcast. You know, let us know your thoughts if you watch this video. I'm sorry I'm all sniffling. I'm gonna go get my life together. And yeah, check out this clip and see you in the next video.
It's tag team week, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We're a real tag team. We do everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Are you tired?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some coffee. Come on, let's make some coffee together. Get your coffee. Get your hot coffee. Come on.
Get the queens.
Got you, bro. Got you. You see the sauce on that?
It's really saucy.
Next one. Oh. Again. Come on now. Here, I'm gonna tag you into this last one.
Okay.
Tag in. It's your cup anyway. Oh. See that?
Nice.
Add some sugar because you're sweet, dog.
I ain't got a good enough cut like you though.
Yeah. It's fine. I got skills.
True, but you're also sweet, so you need an extra sugar packet. Yeah.
That's how a tag team makes a cup of coffee right there.
Yes,
Come on,
it
man.
is. And cap it to finish.
Boom. Thank you.
Yo, that was mine.